G'day legends. Today I'm putting together my brand new V20 big fat tyre e-bike, bought from Knorge.com. Yep, that's my second one from them. Okay, now before we dive in, here is a quick word for the folks who keep prices a mystery. Seriously, it's not a classified file or the launch code to a missile. It's just a price. Say it out loud so people can compare, shop smart, and maybe save a few bucks. I filmed this assembly video for anyone that has purchased this bike. I'll breeze through the easy bits and zoom in on the key steps. The stuff that'll make your setup smooth, simple, and stress-free. Let's crack on. To make life easier, cut one side out of the box. Okay, and then fold the front out like that. So you can see it's pretty well packed. All right, so she all fits in the box there. It's well padded, well packed, it's all there. Okay, that's your battery, that one. It's the front rack. I'm gonna now cut all this packaging off. Now, this is what it looks like when it comes out of the box. Look, it looks pretty scary, but it's fairly simple. You'll have a wire dangling down there. That goes on the back rack when you attach that to the back light. It all plugs in one way, okay, so you can't muck it up. Okay, now I've noticed a little difference to this bike to the first bike I purchased. There are a few different things. Now here are all the individual components all unwrapped. Okay, so starting with, that's the throttle controller. That's the front mudguard to go on the front wheel. There's your pedals, instruction manual, toolkit, foot pegs, the rear rack. This is a little bit different to my other bike. Okay, you get one of those guts busters foot pumps. Okay, so you can pump the tyres up. The tyres, by the way, are flat when you get this bike. You get a battery charger. This battery charger looks bigger than my other bike I purchased. So there's a difference there. There's a difference in the battery. The battery looks a bit different as well. And now this is another different feature. You got a set of keys. There's like a front lock from what I can see. So this is different. This is not on the other bike I've got, but there's a key. You put the key in and looks to me lock the bike. So I'd say that goes through the wheel and locks the bike. And then you get the key in there and you undo it. That is a new feature. I think this is fantastic if you want to lock your bike. So it locks the front wheel. So there's, they will take it, but it's something else to slow them down, isn't it? There's the little thing you put your phone in, to put on the front there. Your phone is protected. There's the front rack. There's the keys for the battery. I'll have to try the keys on the other bike to see if they fit this bike. And of course, there is the front wheel. So, and the stand, the kickstand, I think that's got it all. That didn't come, that's my knife, that didn't come with it. But that there, people, is everything unpacked out of the box when you get the bike. This part here is different as well. So, the first bike I had, now, this cabling, looks like you don't have to re-divert it. This cabling on the other bike came up the front and I had to take this plate out to get the cabling through. So it looks different as well. So it looks a bit simpler to assemble. I've only got to take this off, this stem bolt, take this off and turn it around and put the handlebars on. On the handlebars, there's no throttle there. Okay, so if you want to use the throttle, so if you want to throttle a bike, so if you want to get out of the pedal assist mode, I like to use the throttle. So you got to take this off and put the throttle, the hand throttle on. Okay, but I'll show you all this as I come to it. Okay, this is probably the first thing I like to do, is put the handlebars on. This is what I remember from the first bike I did. With the toolkit provided, you can assemble the bike with the tools that they send with the bike. Okay, you've got to unscrew this stem bolt with this big Allen key wrench here. Okay, so you just take this off. And you just turn that around. Okay, put that like that. Put the bolt back in. Get that straight. And tighten it up. Okay, and then also your side, these ones as well, you tighten these. Remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty, so you're turning right to tighten them up. Okay, there it is there. That's the first step you do. Next step, you've got to take these out. Looks like a different size. Drop down to the next size. So we'll unscrew this part to put the handlebars on. So take all the 4 bolts out. You've got the 4 screws. Okay, they're all the same size. You just lift that off. Okay, get your handlebars. You just place them in there and you just get that top plate. Place it back on, put your screws back in. And just make sure the handlebars are in the middle. You can just do it up firmly, not too tight, because you will have to adjust them when you've got the bike together and you're sitting on it. So roughly in the middle there. Okay, that's firm, but I will have to adjust that later. The connectors, so you've got one here. That one is for your throttle, okay? Your throttle will connect into here, because that's over there in that loom. This loom here, there's another connector. Okay. And there is another connector. They connect together. That is for your horn and blinkers and the light switch. That plugs into here. So you got the arrow to arrow. So you grab the connectors, line the arrows up and plug it in. And there it is. Hope you can see the 2 arrows there. So it's 2 arrows. Make sure they line up and just push it together. And the connector will connect together. You can see that there. It's got 3 pins. That connects the throttle up. That one that goes over there. Okay. Okay, your pedals. This is the right hand side pedal. So right hand thread. And then when you get a left hand side pedal, that's left hand thread. And this is the left side. And this goes the left hand thread. I'll get a spanner, tighten them up. Next thing I'll do, I will put the kickstand on. So that way I can hold the bike up and then I can get the front wheel on. Okay, now the kickstand, and there's the holes there. These are for the foot pegs. There's the stand it's on. And the foot pegs were very simple to put on also. As you can see there's just 2 bolts. You got one this side, and you got one this side. Okay, now I'm going to put the front wheel on. Now, I'm using a trusty old milk crate. I've got the bike on the milk crate and on the back wheel. You can see it there like that. That's just sitting freely. So now on the disc brake, you'll see there is a piece of hard plastic. Make sure you pull that out of between the disc brakes. Okay, that's where your disc goes, up in here of the bike. You do get spare brake pads in your toolkit. So I'll throw that aside. And in the toolkit there are spare brake pads. So ever you wear away your brake pads, you got spares. They give you spare ones. So I will put the front wheel on now. So now the front wheel is pretty simple. You just lift it up and you'll see this washer. It's got that 90-degree bend on it. that sits up inside that hole. It locks in there, put the nut on, tighten it up. Pretty simple. So now the disc fits inside the disc brake. So you shouldn't have any troubles there. You just, that goes in that hole, and that's what it should look like, poked in that hole. And it's the 15mm spanner that fits the front wheel to tighten it, as you see there. Then in your toolkit, you got these caps. They fit over the top of the nuts. So I'll need 2 hands to do this, but I'll pop them on. Okay, so at this point, you take the bike off the milk crate and it'll just stand on its own stand. So there is the bike there, free rolling. Okay, if you use the Mudguard, now just take this bolt out that is behind the locking mechanism. Now it doesn't hold anything in place. Okay, your Mudguard, make sure you drop your arms down. Put the Mudguard on there, put the bolt back in. It's quite simple process, this one. Screw the top in hand tight. And these arms down here. Okay, take this bolt out here. It's by itself, doesn't hold nothing in. And put that bracket back in there and screw that back in. That'll tighten up with the Allen key, wrench, and so will the top one. And you can tighten this side and the other side as well. And don't forget to tighten the top. And your front Mudguard should look something like that. Okay, now the rack. I found I had to take off the headlight to put this on the other bike I had. So what I did is I removed this big bolt here. Okay, and I removed this one. So I'll do that, and then I'll show you how to fit the rack. So I found I loosened this one off. So just take both sides off. This is pretty simple as well. Just got to watch the rubbers there. And they're still staying on. Okay. Oh, one rubber fell off. This rubber fell off on this side. So you got a rubber on the inside, and you got the metal washer on the outside, which they're still sitting there. Now the rack comes with the bolts attached to the brackets. Okay, so you got to undo these 2 bolts that are holding the bracket onto the rack. Don't lose the washers. Now you got the rack, and put the thing on the bottom. So it touches this cross piece, and put the bolts back in with the washers. Okay, so your rack looks like that. You've got the bracket going down. Now these are the bolts that attach the rack to the bike. Take that off. Now you got 2 long ones and a short one. The short one screws in to the bottom, holding the bracket of the rack on, and the 2 long ones go down through the top. Okay, so 2 long bolts at the top, drop them down. I'll go straight through, and then you've got the nut to go on the bottom. Tighten her up by hand. Okay, so after you tighten your rack down, that should be solid. Okay, you should not move. Okay, it is very, very solid, the rack. Okay, so it should move the whole bike. It shouldn't move, it shouldn't jiggle. There should be no slack in it. So get these tight. Like I said, tighten them first. Put these on so they're loose. Okay, and that will allow you to get this bottom bolt in, because this is a very, very tight fit if these are done up tight. So do these up last and you'll be right. Okay, so I just thought I'd point that out. Okay, I'll do the headlight. So I'll just pop that on. That's pretty simple. Okay, so there's a headlight. That's done firm, but not extremely tight, because I'll have to adjust that during the night. Okay, if you're going to put your throttle on, so you just remove the hand grip. Comes off pretty easy. Take it off. So there's the throttle assembly. It goes on that way. Okay, then that little spacer goes in there, and then your hand grip goes on. Okay, this is a bit tight to get on. So you put that on. Okay, slide that on so the cable goes under the brake. Your hand grip, it's going to be a bit tight, but it's not too bad. Okay, there's your hand grip, and there's the throttle. A little Allen key here to tighten at the bottom so your throttle doesn't move. So just showing you underneath, that's where the Allen key goes. It is the smallest wrench in the kit, and you just tighten it up. Just keep tightening, it's a bit to tighten. That's solid now, it's tight, okay? So that now does not move. Nice and tight. And also, do not forget to plug in the cable into there. See the two arrows and plug them simply together. Line it up, plug it in, and they line up. Okay, viewers, now I'm going to put the rear rack on. The bolts are attached to the rack. Okay, there's 4 attachments for the rack. Quite simple, it attaches just here. Here are the attachments. It's very, very simple. Okay, on this rack, I'll just show you the bolts. Just show you how the bolts go. These are the bolts. One goes through and this one screws into that one. Okay, so that's what they look like. Okay, each one into each fitting on the rack there. So I'm just showing you again, that's what they look like. We put the front one in like that. And then once you do that, you can just lift the back one up and do the same, drop your bolts in, then put them on the inside. And of course, tighten it all up. Okay, now I found attaching this rack, I needed another Allen key angled like this to grab the other side, because under the seat here you got like there's a control box under here, so when you're tightening from this side you need this under the other side to stop it from turning. So I found you'll need a little Allen key this size to do that back rack, which is not included in the toolkit. So I just want to highlight that. It looks like about a 5 or a 6 mil Allen key. It's the biggest one in the toolkit. You'll need another one of those, but you'll need one like that to put on the back rack. And then also, same thing, line the arrows up and connect the cable. I'll need like a cable tie to hold up that cable because there is a fair bit of slack in it. So as you've seen, it fell. So I'll need like a cable tie just to tie that up under the rack to stop that doing that. That's pretty much the bike. So now also I did all this while the battery is charging. Okay, so there's the phone holder, that's on. So everything's on except for the battery. The bike should roll smooth. Now, you can hear that just scraping a little bit. That's the derailleur. It's not perfectly lined up. So what you do, this here, just unscrew this a few turns and it'll bring the derailleur over and line up with the first gear. So when you change gear, it won't grind like that. So give it a couple of turns. Let's have a look now if that's fixed it. That's better. So now it's not making that sound. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so that's what you do there. If you hear it, it's sort of trying to go in between gear. And that bottom derailleur, it was just quite off. So yeah, you just unscrew that. You can see the derailleur moves when you unscrew this screw. And you can just see it. So you can just line it up and you'll get it into place. So yeah, I just thought I'd show that or point that out because I found that I had to do that in the first bike also. This one was the same story. So I just have to unscrew that probably 2 turns and it was fine. Now I found this bike also, the suspension clunks. Okay, my first bike done the same. Now, I think it's this actual spring. Okay, it's this here. It's that there. it's out there doing the clunking. It's nothing to worry about. The first bike does it. Now this one's doing the same thing. I thought it was like a fault, but obviously it must be on all of them, because this one does the same thing. It makes that same sound. And I'd say it's the end of the spring. And here you can also loosen the suspension. You can tighten it if you like. So if you screw that way, it'll tighten it. If you unscrew it, it'll make it softer. Someone commented in my first video on my bike that the clunking was coming from the control arm bolt. He mentioned about tightening, and I'm pretty sure he means this one here. I think that's what he's referring to, so the clunking could be there also, but I'm thinking it's here. But anyway, I can live with the sound of it. Okay, now I'll just get a battery and we'll fire it up for the first time. We'll see. Now this is the battery off the first bike. The new batteries I found are a bit higher. They've got a bit more capacity in them, I think, and they don't have this writing on the side. I bought an extra battery with the purchase of this bike as well. So altogether, 3 batteries. So we've got the 2 bikes and we've got 3 batteries. So we've got 1 spare battery between 2 bikes. I'll probably look at getting another battery later. They are $299. I just bought one because I wasn't sure if it's money well spent or not, but we'll find out. So, this is the first time turning the bike on. And there we are. There it is, brand new, no kilometres, nothing. The light was on. Got the horn. Okay, I'll just show you the indicators. You got the left indicator and the right indicator, and then we got the headlights, and then the brakes. Put the brake on, brake off, light off, brake on, and that's it there. Ready to go. In the comments or in the video description, I will put another link in a video that'll do the settings on this screen. So watch that if you want a bit more info on the display settings. Otherwise, this video is just going to go way too long. I just don't like that. A lot of people don't like long videos, and I figured that can be just a separate video. I suppose I better take it for a ride. Okay, viewers, I think I'll call it the quits for this video. It's only pretty much an assembly video, but there you go. That's just a video on how to assemble the bike. I hope this video has helped somebody out. If it's flat, charge it. If it's full, use it. And if it's broken, well, that's when the swearing starts. See you later. All the best. Hope the video's helped. Thank you. Bye.